Obafemi Awolowo University's Faculty of Dentistry has been thrown into mourning following the death of a student who reportedly took his own life shortly after examination results were released. Ife University Dental Students Association President Adebayo Idris described the incident as a devastating loss, saying it was a painful reminder of the silent battles many students face. Idris urged students to support one another and seek professional help when needed, stressing that mental health is as important as physical health. The association pledged to advocate for better welfare and mental health support to prevent similar tragedies. I mean, given what life has become, the cost of training a child, how do we teach young people to realize that you always have pressure in life? It's not a one-off thing. It's a continuous process. And in growing up, you have to beat most of these obstacles when they come your way. What are your thoughts on this report?
There's something they say. It comes in different languages depending on which the field you operate. In academics, they say publish or perish. In other side of the world, they say get rich or die trying.
Right.
And different. So in real life, it's handle the pressure or you get stuck. Because pressure seems to be a normal way of life. Agreed, they don't come in the same degree for everybody and at the same time. But however it comes, you have a duty to yourself first to try as much as you can to handle it. And I think it also comes from people understanding that your life, nobody's life should have a monolithic definition.
Okay.
Much as it is good for me to do well in academics and be identified as that guy that's called all A's. But that is not all that define my life. And I'm not making an excuse for failure now. There are some people who have gotten all A's in academics, but they didn't make as much as D in real life.
Right.
You got A in academics, in real life you got an E.
Do you think that this should be something that we should talk about often? You see, when children go to school, many parents have high expectations. When I remember when I was younger, my dad doesn't go through your A's and your B's. He just goes straight to your, should I call it CGPA now? Your percentage, and just looks at it and goes, okay, this is not so good. This is the percentage. I never heard him talking about you got a C or you got a B, you got 5 A's, or usually down to percentage. Till we got to the level of the SSCs and the WAEC and all of those, right? Do you think that parents put too much pressure in children succeeding in school and forget that children can succeed anywhere? And I'm talking about this in this regard. So just this morning or yesterday or so, I was going through a report, and while going through this report, I found out. Do you know Pella? There's a young man called Pella, and he, came to cry out to say the federal government has given him a tax bill that he's supposed to pay 53 million naira. Right? For you to be taxed 53 million naira, that means there is arguably your income is pretty high, and that is someone without a university education that even at some point, even though it was a facade, and many people did call him out during the event, called that he wanted to employ some people, but he wanted them to have first class, and people turned up for that particular role. Right. Do you think that when you look at this sort of scenario now we just talked about, and you can compare it to all of the footballers and all of the people actually making waves through life without a university education, do you think that parents should be more open to the fact that children can succeed if one way doesn't work? Like you said, the monolithic structure. We can move from the monolithic structure, as it were, to actually succeeding in any other thing other than education.
Yes, but you see, I won't completely advocate for parents to lower their expectation on their children.
Okay.
It's normal to have high expectation for your children, your friends, those, I know you, I expect you to do good and all that, but there should also be a balance.
Okay.
If I expect you to do well in academics, for example, I was expecting an A. The first question also, before I make that expectation, have I put in place the things that will make you get an A? Now I'm talking of A, I'm not talking of first position, because first position is a different thing. I can get an A but still don't come first. I could get an A of, let's say, 97, as high as that is, and that person get an A of 97.5. With that 0.5, he's already ahead of me. But I'm just talking of general. So there is nothing wrong in having those expectations. But there should also be a balance where those expectations don't come true. That doesn't mean the end of you. You understand? Why I wouldn't want to say lower the expectation is because even if you go out of the academic world, whether in football and other, most of the time you discover that it is the same principle that makes people succeed in academics that would make them succeed as footballers, maybe as doctors, as traders, or but applied in different field. So I won't say lower the expectation, but balance that expectation rather than being unrealistic with your expectation. Even look at the comparison. If I expected an A from you this year and you got all C's, is it possible that disappointment may set in? Yes, but look at what happened. Is there anything wrong? Is there anything I would have even done to help you? Then you got C's. Next year, next session, you got a B or a little bit even within the C range, but higher mark. You should be happy that you have outdone your past and not necessarily, the pressure should be outdoing your past. Keep making an effort. Just ensure that you are not stagnant. Just ensure you are doing the right thing. Don't remain stagnant. So the expectations, yes. Work hard at it, yes. But also realize that there are probably other factors. For example, if you're somebody from the social science, the answers you provide to give you an A, if it is something argumentative, do you understand? The person marking your question may also have his own. Your answers may be subjective. It is not necessary. It's not like 1 + 1 that is always 2. We are making, it's an argument. If you meet somebody who is who is pedantic at a lecture and who look out for little details. So he may not even, in spite of your good argument, you may not, now I don't want to sound as if I'm blaming the lecturer, but I'm just saying realistically there are factors that may
underlining ones.
Absolutely. So do your best. Try to be the best you can be in what you're doing. Go for it. Work hard. But also realize that it is not all up to you. If you think you have been unfairly treated, and that's why I would encourage a system that allows people to talk. If you think you have been unfairly treated, you can approach the system. You say, I should have scored an so thing here. This is my expectation. This is what I got. I remember vividly as a student, I had 1 or 2 issues with results. Of course, one of them was an outright mistake because the recording shows 67 plus. Is it 67, 63 something, 67 plus 20, which would have been a 73, or sorry, 53 plus 20, which would have been a 73, but it was recorded as 67. So that, you cannot outrightly say somebody wanted to hurt you. It would have been an error. And I pointed it out to the authority, and, of course, there is their bureaucratic bottleneck and other, but eventually it was corrected. So people should be encouraged to, that's why in schools you have Dean of Student Affairs, you have even your HODs. But the thing is that most students, because of what they have heard other people say, don't even know how to approach these right people. You come to school with that mentality that all your lecturers are demon. At times there may be very difficult people, actually. Just the same way your parents could also be difficult, but it's not necessarily that every one of them. So seek solutions. When you have an issue, if you think you have been unfairly treated, ask questions. By the time you get an explanation, you may just realize that you were wrong, or even the unfair treatment was not deliberate. It's just happened, and
it wasn't a targeted action.
Absolutely, you could get a correction, or you may realize, when you come face to face with the person where you thought you were right, he makes the explanation for you. Yes, this is what happened, this is what happened, and that again provides you an opportunity for learning beyond the results. I've done that. Instead of saying this, I would have said this and all that. Now, this particular incident of people committing suicide because of result, it happened the other time during JAM result. It also, as I saw the incident, what came to the mind is, in this era of technical glitches and all that, this is why systems should also be careful how they put out results. For example, I wonder how JAM would feel considering that somebody committed suicide over.
Equally made a similar error.
So this even raises the question that, do we trust the results we get? Even if I score an A, how am I sure that that A is mine? I have said it in time past that I have seen situations where results, there is a huge gap, there is a bridge between a result, or a gap between a result and the holder of results. You see somebody who scored an A, let's say in English, but he can't put up a sentence together. And with all these things coming up, we are creating a system where people begin to distrust the results. So whether you pass or fail, there would always be that possibility. Is this truly my result? So beyond the result, like I said, it's good to get your results, get a very good result, especially at the university level, especially at the, those terminal exams, because they will determine how you move to the new level. But understand that coming top of the class at a point does not necessarily guarantee that you would always be top. And even if you remain top of the class, like I said before, people have scored A in class and they scored E in life. So much as I would encourage everybody to be the best at what you do, get all the good grades you can get, but also understand that academic grades may not be your only definition. So if you took your life because you didn't get an A, all you have just said is that this is it all for me, and I don't think that is true.
Now, do you think we take mental health seriously in Nigeria? Mental health evaluation, mental health discussions, because you like the head of student affairs, the comrade was saying just now. He talked about how people should support one another and discuss more about mental health situation, be open to talking to people. So sometimes the idea that you're a man, you cannot say that, you're a man, you need to move. Do you think it has created more bottlenecks, as opposed to people being open to talk about their challenges, to say, okay, I feel so bad because I got so score? And I wanted to also ask you something real quick before we leave this topic, because, we've talked about how families' expectations, but the certain families also are the ones that go ahead to choose the courses they want their children to practice. And sometimes a child doesn't want to do that course, but because it was chosen by their parents, they usually do not have a choice. And that is when the disillusionment for disappointment comes in, because you see these grades, that, okay, I probably have let my mother and my father down. The expectations they have, they have for me, or they have of me for this course, thinking that I'll be able to do it, I've let them down. So because I didn't pass, I'm going to be disappointing a lot of people. And the inability for, oftentimes men, you're a man, and I usually find out that men are unable as such to express their innermost heart and their innermost feeling, because society just expects that you're a man, get over it. Do you think that has created more bottlenecks and more realistic expectations of men than it would have if things were different?
Your question is a double-barrel question and two-edged sort kind of question. But let me attempt to answer them. I hope I would have been fair enough at the end of the day. Now, you see, when you talk about mental health, there's a whole lot of talk about mental health.
Right.
And you ask, have we talked about it well enough? Is there anything we have really handled well enough in this part of the world? And when you say, oh, let's support ourselves, what does it really mean to support ourselves?
To listen. Sometimes some people just need somebody to listen or to talk to.
You see, much as I want you to listen to me, I could generate a few good sensation having you listen to me, but the ultimate goal still lies with me. So I think if you ask me, I'm not an expert in this field, but if you ask me, I think your mental health should start with you. Before I hold you responsible for not doing enough to take care of my mental health, I should also know that the first responsibility lies with me. If I realize I have an issue, just the way, if I realize I have malaria, fever or something, I don't blame it on the mosquito that bit me, even though the mosquito bit me. I don't blame it on the landlord who didn't fumigate the compound. That I know these things are true, but I still go seek for treatment. So the same way, if you have an issue, if you know you have an issue, but the thing is that, do you even know you have an issue? Because there's also possible people don't know this thing. So I think it's all about creating a system that, periodically talk to people. You don't wait until this has happened, then we all go all out mental health issue, somebody is already down.
Certainly.
We never come back again, we never get up again. So I think we should have it as a system thing, you know, make it the same way in schools you have counselors, make it periodically. Maybe we can even have a system where people are mandatorily, as a system, have a time that, okay, part of your this is that maybe also so day it is your turn to go see the counselor. Let it be that I went to see the counselor and we realized that there was no need for me to come since I'm doing all well. I mean, the assurance it's even good for me than waiting for me to come when I have trouble and I probably don't know I have trouble. Like you said, the men thing, you know, many men, I don't know if I'm a part of this now, find it difficult to even voice out even the most seemingly innocent thing. How do I tell you that I'm hungry? I've not eaten since yesterday. I'm just wondering if I tell her or if I tell him that, you know, are you not supposed to eat? What are you, you know, just that I keep quiet. I think if we have a system, just a maybe, we have a system that notices that it's like that guy is weak, maybe he needs food and offer me food, I probably would shyly take it.
Why do you think that is better than having a system where men are advocated to be able to speak up?
Yes, you see, both systems can work, encourage men to speak, but also being proactive to help people who can't speak, while you're also working on them to be bold to speak. But we also know that it doesn't come there because these are long-term practice, these are generational practice that have been, you know, in home. Your mom has told you, do you know you are a man, even while you're still a toddler? Why are you crying? Don't you know you're a man? Is it because of that small bit? Are you not a man? Are you not the one that will take over your dad things? And when I'm not here, are you not the one that should handle the home? You know, some culture even say, oh, as a man, you shouldn't cry in public. Those things, as fantastic as they seem, but they also have something that is being hemmed in. So that guy is becoming emotionally dead, as it were. He can't express his emotion. Then the other side of the question is the expectation from the family, right? Parents can have expectations, maybe help their children in even choosing courses, but it's not something you do in isolation. If you're going to choose a path for me, carry me through the process. Let me know why you are choosing this path. Don't allow me walk on my own path. You walk on your own path you think is good for me, and indeed may be good for me, but you allowed me to do some other things. I was planning to study engineering and I was putting all my effort. I was dreaming of becoming an engineer. All of a sudden, you show up and say, hey guy, you know, you're going to be a doctor because I built this medicine. I'll build this medical institution here. Who is going to take over after me? I mean, to have been from the word go, started talking me into it. That way, it will just become a natural flow.